Peace, family, and welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where astrology meets alchemy, where the celestial becomes practical, and where we slow down long enough to build what truly lasts. I'm Bashia Imana, the alchemist, and joining me tonight is my partner, my celestial sister, Diana Vanessa, intuitive, data-driven astrologer, and, as I like to say, the keeper of the cosmic map. Tonight, we are gathering under a full moon in Leo, the snow moon. And if you're near Washington, D.C., she is living up to her name. This full moon is not the loud Leo, not the performative Leo, but the Leo that lives in the heart. The Leo that remembers who it is before the world starts watching. This full moon isn't about becoming something new. It's about seeing clearly what already is, what's ready to be acknowledged, what's ready to be celebrated, and what can no longer be carried forward with integrity. Leo rules the heart, the inner child, and the sacred fire of self-expression. So this lunation invites a quieter, deeper question. What wants to be born through you now? Not for applause, but because it is alive. An Aquarius season still hums in the background, reminding us that what we create isn't meant to live in isolation. Your gifts matter because they circulate. Your joy matters because it strengthens the collective. What you tolerate sets the tone, and what you choose to stand in teaches others what's possible. This moon asks us to move with intention, not urgency, to plant seeds we're willing to tend, to choose embodiment over performance, and to lead, not from the crown, but from the heart. So wherever you are, take a breath. Feel your body. Notice your pulse. And let's enter this moment together.
Welcome to the Lunar Lounge, where the night slows down for you. Celestial rhythms moving, every breath aligns the truth. Astrology meets alchemy. Stars whisper what to do. Come sit beneath the moonlight, let the magic carry you. Lighting with the stars, on illusion. Lighting with the stars, moon magic.
Lunar Lounge. All right, and we are back. How is it going, Diana Vanessa?
Hi, Bashia. Yes, I've been thinking about the conversation we had yesterday about the ways in which the astrology in the sky is showing up in our lives personally and collectively. No matter how much anyone tries to rewrite history or take down memorials meant to remind us of our legacies, our cells never forget.
Cells never forget. So true. The concrete things are happening all around us. Like you mentioned, the ordering of the removal of the exhibit panels at the George Washington House site in Philadelphia. The ones that told the story of the enslaved Africans by George and Martha Washington, now taken down under federal directive. Like the targeted arrest of Black journalists who were doing their job, documenting protests, only to have bogus charges manufactured to intimidate them and send a message. These aren't isolated incidents. They're coordinated attempts to control the narrative, erase history and visibility. And no matter what truth some are trying to erase, we're not able to forget. It is etched in our DNA. It is etched in the very foundation or body of society.
I believe our sovereignty lives deep in our DNA, in places that centuries of weak attempts at censure or erasure have never conquered. And that's on Jupiter retrograde in Cancer right now, with the moon also in Cancer. And in world astrology, the moon represents the people. This feels so timely in light of this upcoming full moon in Leo. So the moon is going to be full in Leo this Sunday, February 1st at 5:09 p.m. Eastern Time. So please adjust for your time zone. It's a full moon, so the harvest, the big and bright messages we need to see have been showing up in the week leading up to this lunation and the weeks after. Think about the area of your life where Leo is expressed first, since that is where the moon is going to be starting tomorrow when the moon enters Leo. So the moon represents the mind, the body, the environment we're in, and it's in Leo. So we're in a space of fire, visibility, warmth, letting our presence lead with heart, courage, and creative authority. We're not hiding our light or waiting for permission to move, all right? So with the Leo moon showing up in my third house, and this usually happens whenever the moon is in Leo, I get the call to show up more, to share my voice, to speak up, to be more visible. I've often received the message, it's time to shine, Diana, when the moon is in the third house for me. And so for you, how has it been showing up in your 11th house of allies and networks and your larger group of friends, longer term goals?
With my moon lighting up my 11th house, the focus is always on community, collaboration, and the future I'm building. But now with some major refinement. This isn't just about doing more for others, which I love to do. It's important that I also discern who truly belongs in my circles and ensure that there is real reciprocity. I'm being called to lead from the heart, not from a place of depletion. This moon asked me to align my long-term visions with communities that support my healing and joy, not just my labor. So refinement and movement, that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, so it's time to move, says the Leo moon. So the sun, which both rules and resources the zodiac sign of Leo, is across the way today in the sign of Aquarius, okay? So remember, when the sun is in a sign, the sun represents, for the purposes of our discussion here, we're going to look at the sun as representing the plot line, or what the people's conscious awareness is on right now. And with the sun in Aquarius, one of the things that is on the mind of the people in our conscious awareness is liberation, community, relating to people based on our interest, groupthink, technology, and this, literally the world is consumed in a lot of places by AI, and discussions around the ethical use of AI and what AI may or may not do to our personal and individual creativity.
Yes, there's a deep question here about how we protect our humanity while still moving forward. It's like we're being asked to evolve without losing our soul.
The Leo and Aquarius axis is an axis of creative power. It's the axis of the king, Leo, and the people, Aquarius.
That really lands for me, Diana, especially the idea that power isn't just for individual expression or gain. It's how that expression serves the collective.
Said another way, Leo wants to shine and have it Leo's way. But with the sun in Aquarius, the solar power and the vitality of the sun is in the sign that is opposite to Leo. So in one way, I'm seeing a message that I always see with this axis of the zodiac and all the planets that are here, which I'll talk a little bit about shortly, is that the way we roar our loudest expression of Leo lion roar is through what we are doing in our collaborations with each other or in support of our communities in some way.
And that feels ancestral too. We didn't survive by doing everything solo. We are interconnected, interdependent. What's funny is I was actually writing about that this morning for my morning medicine segment, this concept of Ubuntu. I am because we are, and we are because I am.
Another message is that this is the time to take our tools, the Aquarius tools, and move forward with our creative visions and projects and manifestations despite the limitations that may be around us. It's put our blinders on, reach out to get the help we need, and make our visions come through.
Ashe to that. You know, when the world feels discouraging or when you don't feel held by systems or leadership, what helps you stay connected to your creative fire?
So one of the things we have to do is we have to source our Leo fire from within us or around us. And what I mean by that is, for example, I don't have any major Leo placements in my chart. So I find ways to stoke my inner Leo fire, and it's usually through external sources, like hanging out with strong Leo placement people. They, including yourself, Bashia, are the ones who have encouraged me to keep pursuing my voice, to speak up, to keep sharing my astrological knowledge, even though I struggle to feel like I know enough to be sharing this with people, but I know it's part of my path. And so I love having that Leo influence around me, especially during times like this where, I mean, the strength of the Leos in my life around this full moon have been strong. And this is one of the ways I use astrology to help empower and resource myself. Surround myself, source my Leo fire from within and from my environment.
That's really important, especially the idea that resourcing doesn't always mean doing it alone. In fact, I don't know when it ever means doing it alone. For me, that goes against the very nature of humanity. Yet it's how most of us are conditioned. That survival of the fittest baloney. We not only survived, but thrived as a human race because we worked together.
At this time, there are a lot of planets opposing the moon in Leo. We have Mercury, messages, Venus, desire, Mars, action, and Pluto, power, all with the sun in Aquarius right now. So I see us tapping into that Leo fire by sourcing support from the people we are in community with. It's like resourcing collaboratives, Aquarius, with our individual gifts, Leo. My friend Ariel asked me what we're releasing under this full moon. I told her that with a harvest, where we see everything that has come in since we seeded our intentions under previous Leo and Aquarius lunations, I told her that there may be things that are coming in for us right now that we're seeing that we don't like. I know I'm seeing it collectively. I'm seeing people exercising authority in ways that makes me very displeased and very reactionary.
And I appreciate you naming that. I've seen that too. And seeing clearly doesn't mean we have to become numb or resign. It all begins with awareness.
So we can't let the things that we're seeing right now that are coming in be a deterrent for us. I think in a way it's a good motivator. I also think this is an opportunity for us to revise or to remove the things that we're seeing show up with this full moon that no longer work to help move us forward. I think that it's important right now to remind ourselves if you already know some of this, or if not, to take this time to listen to this brief primer on what's happening with the outer planets right now, because number one, this is like a super creative period for each of us, individually and collectively. And that's one of the reasons I've been emphasizing this message around staying focused, not getting distracted by hype and spin, not letting things get us too inflamed that don't need to, because we've got things that we're moving. We've got visions that we're materializing. We've got movements that are happening. And so a lot of this, a lot of what I consider stoking of fears, a lot of fear of challenges to our security are being largely informed by major changes that are happening with the outer planets, which are connected to what the collective goes through as a group. And so for that, I'm going to spend a few minutes just going through what the shift is and why it's important for us to keep that framework in mind as we're thinking about what's coming in for us with this full moon in Leo. Neptune, the outer planet linked to our experience of spirituality, fantasy, and illusion, was in Pisces since 2011. Where Pisces lives in our birth chart shows where we did 14 years of merging, blurring lines. It's where our feelings overtook clarity in many cases, boundaries softened. The area of our lives where we express Pisces is where people, places, and things were allowed to float without definition. That was until March of 2023 when Saturn, the planet linked to limitation and structure, moved into Pisces and started testing the strength of what we created in our Pisces house. With Saturn, the vision and fantasy, they met consequence. So since that time, notice who or what has passed on. What did you attempt to create that couldn't be sustained? Collectively, we've also seen the proverbial wool pulled from our eyes about what was not real. So what has held up to the Saturn test? What is still standing in the Pisces house? What is growing and flourishing there? Because wherever Saturn moves in the chart, though the 3-year transit of Saturn tends to be associated with struggle, hardship, and limitation, when we work with Saturn, we often see the rewards of what is still standing after Saturn wraps up its transit. So Saturn and Neptune are meeting up together in Aries in February. And we've already seen a preview last summer 2025 of the shifts. Neptune has moved away from the Pisces collective conscious soup, and now it's in Aries mode. This is like going from drift to more action. Uranus in Taurus has been reshaping our values for the last 7 to 8 years. Uranus is going to station direct. It's been retrograde. It's going to station direct next week. So the internal recalibrations and review that we do during a retrograde are going to be showing up externally now, with it moving, getting ready to turn direct. So do not be surprised if you or others in your life are experiencing the urge to liberate, to break free, to move differently. Uranus is getting ready to move into Gemini. So I think we're going to be feeling a last push to disrupt what we own, what we consume, and what we consider and call stability in our lives. Last but not least, Pluto is on the longest chapter of the outer planets. For 19 more years, we are innovating and also confronting what it means to be human in an era of focused attention on the power of technology and collectives. Yes, these outer planets are now gathering in the early degrees of air and fire signs after years of working through heavier earth and water terrain. Air and fire by element move faster. They stimulate ideas. They inspire and they catalyze. So we're moving into this period which is giving, let's move.
I think what's crazy about this, or what I should actually say is what's aligned about this, is, even this morning as I was trying to finish all of this up because I had some family things to do, Later on today, Spirit called me to just sit down at the computer and write. And what I thought was 15 minutes ended up being 3 hours of me just writing, I guess, what Spirit was just bringing forth through me. And it was really all about the same, exactly what you just said, about what it means to be human, the liberating ourselves. And so again, nothing is happenstance. This is all in divine order. And I just appreciate you for breaking it down astrologically so that we can really get a clear picture of what's happening. So I believe now is a good time for us to go ahead and transition into a short guided visualization. And so wherever you are, just take a moment to settle your body. You're welcome to sit or lie in a way that feels supportive. If it feels safe, gently close your eyes. And begin by bringing your awareness to your breath. Inhale slowly. And exhale, letting the shoulders soften. Beautiful. Again, inhale. And exhale. Under this full moon in Leo, we pause at a threshold, a moment of reckoning, a moment of truth. Place one hand on your solar plexus chakra, right at the base of the sternum, or you can place your hand on your heart and feel its steady rhythm, your original fire. This moon asks us to remember who we are, beneath the performance, beneath the pressure to prove, beneath the noise of systems and expectations. As you breathe, notice what wants to be released. Any roles that require depletion. Any leadership that asks you to abandon your joy. Any version of yourself that survives by shrinking. Let it go. Now gently call to your attention the people in your life, the ones who reflect your light, the ones who walk with you, not behind you, the ones who help you stay human as the world accelerates. Feel the truth of this Leo Aquarius axis. Your creative fire matters, and it is meant to circulate. You are not meant to be alone. You are not meant to shine alone. You are meant to belong without disappearing. Now let's take one deep breath in together. Inhaling, drawing your fire inward. And exhale, offering it outward with integrity. When you're ready, softly open your eyes. Trust what survives this moon. It will last. As we come to close this full moon conversation, what feels like a good heartwarming medicine for this Leo moon?
Leo is all about the children, okay? And to me, the medicine for this moon is honoring the inner child living inside of us. So if there's any way you can play this weekend, I would do that and let your inner child just sing.
All right, you heard it from Diana Vanessa. Let your inner child sing. And I'm not going to have any problem with that. And for those of you who want to stay connected with me, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram or my YouTube channel, The Umoyowell, where I celebrate your becoming and support you moving in your purpose, your power, and your peace. I have a new morning medicine coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. And I've also released a new meditation series specifically for entrepreneurs and business leaders focused on staying aligned, creative, and human while building. And Diana, for listeners who want to stay connected to your work or go deeper with you, what are some ways they can find you?
Yes, as always, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can go to dianavanessa.com. When you go to my booking link, you'll also see my current offerings, like my birth chart foundational readings, where I help to show you how to work with your sun, moon, and your rising placements. Have a wonderful full moon weekend, Bashia and everyone, and we'll be back soon for a very pivotal, fast-moving new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius on February 17th. Take care.
All right, that closes us out for tonight. Please make sure that you like, and please, please, please subscribe and share with someone you care about. And we'll see you under the stars. Peace.